But my goal was achieved. I was ready to fight to the death. Long Shiba, you can't escape now. Surrender quietly. The immortals closed in. The little fox was scared. I gently comforted her, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Unfortunately, this time, it seemed impossible to get the Taiwu Jindan. The three sovereign empress was still waiting for me. I scanned the gathered immortals, resigned to my fate, and thought briefly. With a thought, I unleashed demonic energy, trapping 200 immortals. They were all stunned. They were already exhausted from breaking my formation earlier, faces pale and gasping. This demonic energy wasn't ordinary magic. No matter how long they struggled, it was impossible to break through. Unless the owner of the energy, me, was gone. The immortals around me exchanged bewildered looks, confused by my sudden move. Oomph, not bad of you. But even if you free us, don't think about running today. The trapped immortals were furious, especially the two great immortals who charged at me with dark expressions. In an instant, over 600 immortals swiftly surrounded me, leaving no gaps. I released my grip, letting go of the immortal I had just grabbed. There are so many immortals here. Killing one or letting one go won't make a difference. Get lost. That immortal was stunned for a moment, clutched his neck, and quickly flew away. The rest of the immortals were even more baffled. Long Shiba, you're finally awake. You realize resistance is useless and have chosen to surrender? Those who recognize the situation are true heroes. This is the best decision you've made. The immortals sneered and tightened the circle around me. Oh? Surrender? What do you think I am, Long Shiba? If you don't want to die right now, leave quickly, there's no chance once you're past this village. I smiled calmly as a demonic aura gradually enveloped me. I casually grabbed a handful of celestial fruits and shoved them into my mouth. A sharply sour taste flooded my palate, as if my crown chakra was doused with lemon juice, making me break out in cold sweat. It was almost unbearable. But I knew I absolutely could not spit it out. This was my only chance to break free. Facing over 600 immortals, if I didn't save myself now, I'd surely die here today. I had just withdrawn my demonic aura to form a protective spiritual light around me, allowing me to eat the celestial fruits safely. Gritting my teeth, I swallowed the fruits whole, the sensation like swallowing razor blades. Gulp! As the celestial fruits entered my body, divine energy condensed inside me, and I continued to devour them voraciously. Forced into a corner, I had no choice but to rapidly raise the cultivation of my unbreakable demonic technique with the help of the celestial fruits. I possessed over 1,000 celestial fruits, a considerable number, but far from enough to outright kill 600 immortals. Only by eating hundreds of peaches of longevity might it be possible. I was well aware of this. At the same time, I was waiting for an opportunity. One big enough to buy me time to escape. In fact, when I first descended from the 8th level heavens, I already suspected I'd be ambushed and came prepared. This was step 1, quietly eating the celestial fruits. Step 2, the immortals would certainly launch a furious attack against my demonic aura, but it would be completely ineffective. They couldn't break through my demonic aura. Since they couldn't deal with me, they would definitely imprison me in the heavenly prison, waiting to hand down their judgment. That escort process would be my second step, a chance to drain every drop of dragon blood from the dragon mother's physical body. To further advance my unbreakable demonic technique. The dragon mother had told me before, if there were no other options, I could use her physical body. Now the moment had come, I had no choice but to follow her advice. This was my two-step plan, my only chance to escape. The immortals encircling me exchanged looks, dumbfounded that I was still eating celestial fruits. What exactly is he doing? Did I see that right? He's eating Earth's celestial fruits? Ha! Is he stuffing himself, scared he'll die without food? Doesn't seem so. This guy is crafty. He's probably making a last-minute push to boost his cultivation level. How could it rise instantly? I heard immortality pills can forcibly raise cultivation, but eating these fruits? Never heard of it. He doesn't even have any pills on him. Where did he get the guts to break into the immortal realm? Stop staring. Don't let this drag on. Attack! The 600 immortals sneered and unleashed their divine powers, raining down attacks like a spray of celestial flowers. Boom! 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 The overwhelming assault battered against my demonic aura. Within this 10-mile radius, a terrifying energy field enveloped the area. The 600 immortals' faces lit up with joy. They thought their combined attacks would instantly shatter my defenses without question. I didn't resist, calmly continuing to eat the celestial fruits with determination. At first, the little fox was frightened, but after the first wave of attacks left my demonic aura unscathed, she grew less afraid. All the immortals gawked in shock and disbelief. Those more than 200 immobilized immortals had their faces completely darken. What's going on? Over 600 immortals, yet we still can't break through his protective spiritual light? Is someone holding back? There's demonic energy mixed in his aura. What kind of monster is this? So tough. Instantly, the 600 immortals fell into panic, babbling incoherently. I stared coldly at them, ravenously eating fruit after fruit, already over 100 since a moment ago. My teeth were numb from the acidity, my mouth, throat, and stomach felt alien. My crown chakra was overwhelmed, but I forced myself to keep eating because if I stopped, I would die. That guy's up to something. I said letting us go was no good. Well, it's all a trick to buy time with that weird demonic aura, one powerful immortal growled in anger. Buying time? Impossible. That aura can withstand sustained terror attacks from over 600 immortals? The other immortals gradually calmed down. This is just the first wave of attacks. If he can endure once, what about the next? After countless more attacks, how long can he hold out? One immortal sneered, regaining his confidence. Fox Immortal. You don't know he just trapped over 200 immortals with one move, all powered by this demonic energy. We spent a lot of our vitality on it. If he hadn't released us, we'd still be trapped. Someone said helplessly. We should have just killed him outright. Everyone, calm down. It was only 200 just now there are over 600 of us. No matter how strong that demonic energy is, it won't help. The immortals shouted loudly, keep attacking. I don't believe the protective spiritual light can withstand several rounds of our assault. Attack! The immortals exchanged glances and exerted force once more. Boom! Explosion after explosion roared nonstop. Surrounded by endless blasts, I watched their moves coldly and continued devouring the celestial fruits. By this time, I had eaten over 300, and suddenly began coughing violently, stomach churning in waves of nausea. I was about to vomit but bit down hard, refusing to throw up no matter what. The little fox whispered softly, Daddy, can you still eat? Holding back my breath, I replied, I can. With great effort, I swallowed the flesh of the fruit. The little fox covered her mouth in surprise. Daddy, you're a little gross, but I'm cheering for you. Gritting my teeth, I grabbed another handful of celestial fruits and shoved them into my mouth. More than 600 immortals had attacked 10 times in a row now, yet my demonic spirit energy remained unscathed. They began doubting themselves, shocked and confused. Their stubbornness faded as they realized they'd hit a wall. Impossible. Have everyone really given their all? It's the 10th time already, how can they still not break through? We've done our best. This is really strange, 600 immortals can't handle him. At this rate, we'll wear ourselves out before breaking through his magic aura. Try a few more times. They kept bombarding me. Meanwhile, I had consumed over 600 celestial fruits, continuously absorbing them according to my cultivation method, equivalent to over 50 top-grade elixirs, massively enhancing my power. They attacked 10 more times, sweat pouring down their faces. Some immortals looked pale as the void around them distorted and twisted. No good. Does anyone have a powerful immortal artifact left unused? Bring it out now. We already used them all. Sigh, I've lived a long time but never seen anything this strange. What do? We can't just wait around. Panic swelled among the immortals. Despite so many of them, they were powerless. They wanted to gain credit fast but couldn't catch me. Right. I just thought of a good idea, take this guy to the heavenly prison. It has heavenly lightning, maybe it can dispel his demonic energy. Suddenly, one immortal came up with a plan in the heat of the moment. Exactly. The heavenly prison also has the 3 flavors of true fire. Let's use it to burn him and see if his protective light holds up. Let's go. Everyone together, escort Long Shiba to the heavenly prison. They all agreed, and their 600 tired eyes once again ignited with fervor. Let's write less today, my relatives just finally left. Next, to prevent my escape, over 600 immortals cast spells simultaneously. Layers of golden light formed a square prison around me, and 10 thick golden chains secured it, with everyone holding onto the chain ends. Obviously, they wouldn't let go of the credit they'd earned. I watched it all coldly. Who exactly had I, Long Shiba, offended? Being escorted by 600 immortals to the heavenly prison, this spectacle was probably unprecedented. No rumors of anyone having insulted the Queen Mother, right? This kind of attention really raised my status. Would this scene shake the immortal realm? Or would it become a joke? I let them drag me to the prison, all the while continuing to stuff celestial fruits into my mouth. Long Shiba, do you have any last words? Tell me, and I'll relay them exactly to Madam He. A voice suddenly transmitted from within the immortal mansion. Clearly, she believed I was as good as dead. I had no last words. I wasn't going to die here. There was too much left unfinished. I transmitted, "Thank you. No last words? Don't think you still have a chance to escape." She sounded surprised. "I won't die here. You're beyond our control. You're definitely going to die today. Even if 600 immortals can't kill you, you've offended another big shot in the immortal realm, someone who can kill you instantly," she said. I paused, then transmitted, "Who did I offend?" I assumed she meant the Bell owner or the Jade Emperor. "You don't know? Are you pretending to be dumb or just stalling? Don't you trust me?" Her tone shifted. "Don't tell me you haven't noticed I have." I was shocked. "What?" I thought of that little person. Could that little person really have tampered with Long Shiyu? I remembered the Immortal Mansion's person looked at Long Shiyu oddly. She was powerful, perhaps she sensed something even Madame he couldn't. What was on Long Shiyu? It had to be a ticking time bomb ready to explode. Would it affect her resurrection? That worried me most. "Looks like you really don't know." Her tone became strange. "Since you don't know, I won't get involved in messy business and won't say more." "Is that little person stronger than you?" I pressed. "You guess." She answered cautiously. "What kind of skills does my sister have?" I asked anxiously. "No use telling you, you're about to die. Come on, just tell me. Consider it a favor I owe you." "Joking when you're about to die? Fine. Since you're on the brink of death, I'll tell you your sister's life is involved." I was shocked. Just as I suspected, this villain is trying to use Long Shiyu's life to blackmail me? To force me to break the Immortal Cave's formation? "Who did you offend to have to pick a fight with someone like that?" she asked, confused. "No, this villain framed me. Otherwise, the Jade Emperor wouldn't have ordered my execution." I replied angrily. She was surprised. "Your anger won't help. That's someone you can't afford to cross." "I've said too much, it's not my business. You should have known this day would come. Honestly, you're a man, you didn't betray me even facing death. Since you have no last words, then, farewell." She stopped transmitting, and the Immortal Mansion suddenly felt deserted. My eyes flickered. The only comfort was that Long Shiyu should be able to resurrect, otherwise, what threat could this villain possibly hold over me? But right now, with Long Shiyu's life controlled by this scoundrel, how could I not be anxious? I forced myself to steady my mind. Anger was useless, I had to survive. I sat cross-legged, focusing intensely as I devoured the immortal fruits. The little fox kept watch outside, while the thunder-striking bamboo circled around me. At that moment, 600 immortals came in full force to escort me to the heavenly prison. I'd studied the immortal realm map. The prison was on the 11th heaven, just one level above. The path to the prison passed through a wide, long heavenly river. The river's waters were highly poisonous, even immortals couldn't touch it. This was actually a perfect escape spot. With the indestructible demonic energy inside me and a defensive aura formed by chi, I could easily hide in the river without trouble. But after calming down and thinking it over, I discarded that impulse immediately. I hadn't finished the fruits, and my cultivation wasn't enough. I couldn't outrun 600 immortal eyes, even hiding in the river wouldn't guarantee escape. I had to stick to the plan. By time, finish the immortal fruits, then absorb all the dragon blood from Dragon Mother. Raising my cultivation was key to survival. Escorted by 600 immortals, I stepped onto the 11th heaven. I'd already eaten over 900 immortal fruits. With the indestructible demonic skill, I converted the divine energy into true chi for my body. No thoughts, just keep eating. Almost done, they rushed me straight to the prison. Many immortal onlookers were stunned by the massive escort party. Never seen anything like this. They asked around, "What's going on? Did they capture the demon emperor of the demon realm?" The 600 immortals shouted in unison, "This is Long Shiba escorted." At that, the bystanders froze. Long Shiba, the one who broke the celestial realm's formation? Who else could it be? The 600 immortals marched me right into the prison. The prison's guarding immortals and heavenly soldiers were also shocked by such a huge show of force. They flew out, fully alert. "What's happening?" "Such a big operation," the head immortal guard asked anxiously, almost ready to fight. Luckily, one immortal shouted, "Calm down. We're escorting a dangerous criminal." "A dangerous criminal? 600 immortals for one prisoner? Ridiculous." The guards were even more confused. They had guarded the prison for years but never seen such a big setup for a single inmate, dumbfounded. They scanned me closely. "The dangerous criminal we're escorting is Long Shiba." "Long Shiba?" The guards exchanged looks. "I know his reputation, but just one man, is he really worth such a huge escort? This formation is big enough for the Demon Emperor." They doubted if it was all just hype. The 600 immortals looked helpless, some angry, some complaining bitterly. You don't know, his magic is strange, his methods cunning. Knowing he can't fight one-on-one, he hides inside a protective aura, stubbornly refusing to come out. I'm almost driven mad by him. Can't fight him, he just hides like a scared turtle, totally unmanly. If he dares to come out, I could take him down alone. The immortals' frustration grew louder. I hid inside my demonic chi, watching coldly as they argued. Suddenly, I stuffed the last immortal fruits into my mouth and munched furiously. The prison immortals and heavenly soldiers were even more puzzled. Hiding inside a protective aura? Then why don't you break that aura? Yeah, such a simple fix, why all this fuss? Several guarding immortals asked, perplexed. They felt this was a minor matter, not worth such a huge operation, that complicated arrangement just to lock me up? If only it were that simple, the 600 immortals said. We just tried bombarding his protective shield. Guess what? No effect whatsoever. Yeah, weird as hell. If we could break it easily, we wouldn't have dragged him all the way here. The escorted immortal friends vented their grievances the entire way. The guarding immortals and heavenly soldiers exchanged glances, half doubtful, mostly speechless. They felt these immortals sounded more like they were bragging. One armored immortal said, "Oh? Such a powerful protective spiritual light? Today I want to see it for myself. Hurry up and use heavenly thunder in 3 flavors true fire." We came all this way just for this, another immortal urged impatiently. The armored immortal replied, fine, you all withdraw your spells first. Over 600 immortals hesitated immediately. No one let go, in fact, the 10 thick, golden chains tightened even more. The armored immortal laughed heartily, you're way too cautious. This is the heavenly prison. Since I've been guarding it, no prisoner has ever escaped. If you don't release your spells, how can I strike him with heavenly thunder? Forcing it would be like helping his protective spiritual light. The immortal still hesitated, he was cultivating inside just now. We're afraid that if we release him, he'll seize the chance to run. Exactly, he's too cunning. He claims he can still cultivate? What a joke! Ha ha ha. The armored immortal laughed, joined by other immortals and heavenly soldiers. Everyone, he's already on the brink of death. What cultivation can he possibly have? This is clearly just playing it cool. He's definitely flustered. Besides, even if he temporarily boosts his power, with so many immortals watching, where could he possibly escape? Let's release the spells. I've never seen a prisoner in the dish fly away by itself. Don't worry, once he's in the heavenly prison, whether dragon or rat, he has to lie low. No chance to turn over. The armored immortal was full of confidence. After quiet discussion, the 600 immortals finally agreed to release the spells first. But they were extremely cautious when withdrawing them, forming an even tighter circle, watching the top and bottom closely for fear he might escape. I stared coldly at them. Even if they didn't surround me, I wouldn't move. My cultivation wasn't high enough to escape yet. I had to use this chance to cultivate more. At that moment, I began observing the heavenly prison. This immortal prison was different from the demon realms. From afar, it looked like a huge, fertile nest, but the entrance was tightly sealed. It truly was a fortress beyond Thousands Breach. It resembled a gigantic divine artifact, floating in the air like a drifting immortal island. Its material seemed like golden bells, but I wasn't sure. I thought, if they can't break through my demonic aura, they might just lock me in the heavenly prison and have a great immortal come down to behead me. If that's the case, I must quickly finish eating the immortal fruits and absorb the dragon blood. I absolutely can't be locked up there, or I might die in the immortal realm. I ravenously devoured the immortal fruits. Thankfully, without pause, I finally shoved the last 5 into my mouth. Gulp, I couldn't bite them, only forced them down, nearly passing out. Having eaten over 1,000 immortal fruits, my whole body ached, even my blood and bones felt like they'd been soaked in a vinegar jar. Lucky it wasn't in vain. I immediately concentrated on applying the unbreakable demon technique. I transformed the fruits entirely into my flesh. Then I absorbed the dragon blood. At that moment, the 600 immortals finally withdrew their spells and the golden chains from the demonic aura. The prison seemed to open. The armored immortal looked at my demonic aura, saying, your so-called protective spiritual light is too ordinary, just a mix of and demonic aura. I don't see anything impressive. It's a bit strange, but nowhere near undefeatable. Obviously this guy's turned demon, but demons fear heavenly thunder. Watch closely, everyone, I'm going to use heavenly thunder to suppress his protective spiritual light. He gestured, and from the depths of the prison flew out a strange hammer crackling with lightning. The hammer looked like condensed lightning, its surface swirling with electricity, terrifying, no mere mortal item. Seeing the hammer, the immortals' eyes lit up, their earlier complaints turned to excited anticipation. Some began to gloat, even over half started piling on. They were clearly holding back frustration, now finally able to vent. TSK, once this heavenly thunder hammer comes down, his protective spiritual light will shatter to pieces. Who'd have thought our immortal realm actually has an ultimate weapon against a lowly demon? Hurry, smash his shield. I want to see if he still acts arrogantly. The immortals watched eagerly, their eyes burning with fire, desperate to see my protective spiritual light broken. I looked at the heavenly thunder hammer, powerful, but I felt nothing. I had long since grown accustomed. After all, I once withstood 41 strongest demon realm thunder strikes to successfully ascend as a demon. Back then, even before becoming a demon, I could resist so much lightning. Now, with demonic aura protecting me, this heavenly thunder likely couldn't harm me. The little fox seems a bit scared. Lei Jiju and the others were a bit anxious. Seeing the heavenly thunder hammer, they instinctively felt fear. Don't be afraid, I reassured them. At that moment, the armored immortal sneered, grabbed the heavenly thunder hammer, and proudly swung it down at me. This is segment 88 of 125. Please follow my logic in processing the content below. Maintain the original paragraph structure, line breaks, and overall layout. Return only the processed text. The thunder hammer struck once, unleashing a terrifying lightning bolt hundreds of meters long, swirling like a thunder dragon with an awe-inspiring force. The 600+ immortals surrounding me were stunned, some of the weaker ones even tried to dodge. But soon their enthusiasm ignited, the thunder restored their confidence. Watch carefully. His protective aura is actually fragile, the armored deity said confidently. Boom! The thunderbolt smashed into my demonic aura, a force so overwhelming it seemed to destroy heaven and earth in an instant. The little fox was so scared she covered her eyes with her tiny paws, trembling uncontrollably. Lei Jishu froze as well. I knew her fear was instinctual, but my expression remained unchanged. The raging thunder failed to destroy my demonic aura, not a single crack appeared. Instead, my demonic aura became purer, completing the thunder's refining. Having expected this, I was unsurprised. Seeing I was unharmed, the little fox brightened immediately. Lei Jiju also exhaled in relief. The gathered immortals were stunned and began to murmur. The protective aura didn't break? Isn't thunder his kryptonite? Not only did his aura survive, it actually became stronger? The armored deity frowned deeply but remained calm. Why rush? This is only the first lightning strike. Doubt crept among the immortals. The thunder seems useless against him? I have a bad feeling about this. The armored deity sneered coldly. Wait and see, I'll strike 10 lightning bolts at once, even he can't withstand that. He hammered fiercely, lightning flashing in the sky. 10 bolts of thunder continuously struck my demonic aura, dispersing the mist within 10 miles outside the heavenly prison. Sweat drenched the armored deity's brow, but his expression was self-satisfied. The 600+ immortals fixed their gaze on me, their eyes stinging from the dazzling lightning. Suddenly, a senior immortal shouted. Stop! Haven't you noticed? His protective aura has turned black golden. We've been deceived, we're not breaking his aura, instead, we're helping to refine his demonic aura. His words hit like a bomb, stirring a huge commotion. 600+ immortals gaped in shock. It really did become harder, someone exclaimed. Isn't thunder supposed to suppress his demonic energy? Why does it help him instead? Everyone was puzzled. This is unbelievable. It's infuriating. We went through so much trouble to corner him in the heavenly prison to strike him with thunder, and it didn't work. The immortals were furious and stunned. Especially the armored deity who just wielded the thunder hammer, sweat pouring, his eyes nearly popping out. This is impossible. Other guardians of the heavenly prison and celestial soldiers were also dumbfounded. The demonic aura inside me exhaled a long breath. Actually, after 10 thunder strikes, I was in a lot of pain, but I endured it. Instead, I was excited because this accidental thunderbolt made my demonic aura even more invincible. More importantly, at the moment of being struck, I transferred all the fairy power from the immortal fruit I had just eaten directly into my physical body. You could say my indestructible demonic cultivation advanced another half step. I felt very happy. This level of cultivation usually required many rare elixirs, and yet I managed to improve. But even so, I was no match for over 600 immortals in combat, let alone break out of their encirclement. So, I had to keep going. I even began to look forward to it. The dragon blood in the dragon mother's physical remains is a supreme elixir. Could this half of her body help my indestructible cultivation advance 2 steps? My eyes gleamed, and I immediately began absorbing the dragon blood from the half body. I plunged my hand into the leathery skin pouch containing the dragon mother's flesh, feeling her skin and accurately locating the severed neck. Last time, a single drop of her blood nearly turned me into a divine dragon being. How much would this time improve me? I hurried to absorb it. This half of the body seemed to recognize my intent and did not resist. Of course, if I sucked all the dragon blood dry, the flesh would shrivel to nothing. So I only planned to absorb the most refined essence of the dragon blood inside. This way, I could rapidly boost my cultivation while preserving the flesh, allowing the dragon mother a chance to fuse again. At that moment, droplets of dragon blood began to ooze from the neck. Unlike the dragon mother's blood I had seen before, these droplets radiated a dazzling golden light. They shone like molten gold. I excitedly collected 20 droplets of the dragon blood essence. This was equivalent to 500 top-tier elixirs. The half of the dragon mother's physical remains was still relatively intact, though it felt softer and somewhat weak to the touch. That reassured me I could finally complete my task. Previously, rushing to consume dragon mother's blood caused me to faint for over 10 days. With experience this time, I dared not rush. Otherwise, if I fainted again, not only would the 3 empresses fail to save me, but I'd also be beheaded by the immortals. I adjusted my breathing, secured the skin pouch, and felt confident my current body could withstand the impact of the dragon blood essence. I decided to start by swallowing a single droplet. The scorching heat instantly flooded my mouth as if I had swallowed molten lava. My entire throat burned fiercely, but a terrifying force surged into my abdomen. I clearly felt a different kind of impact than last time. I was dizzy for a moment, like I'd been struck by a heavy stick. I bit down hard on my tongue, the pain snapping me back to awareness. Desperately struggling, I managed to pull myself out of unconsciousness. Quickly, I used the indestructible demon art's inner power to fully convert this drop of dragon blood essence into my flesh. Breathing a sigh of relief, I swallowed the second drop. Of course, I kept a close watch on the surroundings. If they became helpless, they might actually lock me up in the celestial prison. I had to act fast. I refused to believe that heavenly thunder can't kill him. At that moment, the armored celestial regained his senses, his face filled with frustration and anger as he readied to swing the thunder hammer again. Over 600 celestials changed their expressions drastically and gasped. Heavenly Thunder God, stop striking. You don't really want to help him, do you? Stop. The Heavenly Thunder is useless now, quick, use the 3 flavor true fire. Wait, is the 3 flavor true fire useless too? The crowd of celestials shouted urgently. The armored celestial finally came to his senses, wiped off his embarrassed expression, put away the thunder hammer, and angrily pulled out a small blood-red vial. Consider him lucky this time, I'll use the 3 flavor true fire to burn him to ashes. With that, he uncorked the vial. The over 600 celestials held their breath and stared intently once again. This should do the trick, right? Definitely. The 3 flavor true fire comes from the furnace where the Supreme Lord Laozi has spent 10,000 years refining elixirs. It's burned countless celestial pills and invincible magical weapons. Even Sun Wukong nearly perished in it back then. No matter how powerful Dragon 18 is, he can't escape being reduced to ash. All the celestials fixed their gaze on me, filled with anticipation. The little fox in Lei Jiju, Thunderstrike Bamboo, grew even more nervous. Amid the chaos, I sneakily glanced at this so-called 3 flavor true fire. The tiny vial spewed a flame initially no bigger than a fingernail, then rapidly expanded into a sea of fire. The flames looked like a fiery dragon, with surrounding temperatures soaring, multiplying heat by 100-fold. Just looking at it made my scalp tingle. The other celestials' faces were red from the heat, drenched in sweat, yet they could barely endure it. No wonder they were so confident. This 3 flavor true fire was truly formidable. But I wasn't scared in the slightest. My demonic and magic demon aura had just been purified, it could resist the 3 flavor true fire. More importantly, the fire burned physical objects, but my demonic aura was energy, not physical. The flames couldn't reach me. And I was proven right. The fiery dragon raged across the sky, as if it could burn through the heavens. The spectacle was stunning, even shocking me. Let alone the little fox in Lei Jiju. But the flames were all stopped by my demonic aura's barrier. Inside, I felt like I was inside a furnace, boiling unbearably. The little fox's fur was soaked with sweat, and Lei Jiju was restless, clearly bothered by the heat. The stifling heat was unbearable. The little fox's eyes hurt so much, she said, rubbing her eyes. Then close your eyes, I urged. She quickly covered her eyes with her paws. My own eyes burned painfully, as if smoked by thick smoke, tearing uncontrollably with sharp stinging sensations like needles piercing them. Fortunately, I could still endure it, my vision remained mostly intact. I asked Lei Jiju how she was doing. Sir, I'm fine, just very hot, she replied. I kept swallowing the dragon blood essence, working to rapidly boost my cultivation to survive. The Celestials watched my demonic aura's changes closely. 1 minute passed, they remained confident, even joking. After 5 minutes, their expressions started to change, the laughter faded. 10 minutes passed, and the celestial prison fell silent. Many Celestials were shocked. 15 minutes later, all the immortals were dumbfounded, their eyes nearly popping out. There's no way. Even the 3-flavor true fire can't burn through his protective light? And he's still alive? We worked so hard to imprison him here, it's all been for nothing. The 3-flavor true fire burns everything, most things succumb in a minute or two. He's been unscathed for 15 minutes. Could his demonic aura transcend the 5 elements? Unless mixed with some kind of law, how else could he ignore heavenly thunder and 3-flavor true fire? The Celestials were near madness, their faces full of utter disbelief. Especially the previously confident armored Celestial, he was completely stunned. The vial fell to the ground with a clatter, unnoticed by all. I was unbearably hot too, my eyes burning fiercely. My body could endure this thanks to cultivating the indestructible demon art, but the little fox was barely holding on, panting weakly and nearly collapsing. Lei Jiju was also suffering, her sword's color shifting from golden green to red. What do we do? Over 600 Celestials and we still can't deal with him. If word gets out, we'll be mocked everywhere, bringing shame to the immortal realm. Quick, think of another plan. Everyone was pacing anxiously, helpless. Then, one Celestial suddenly had a thought and shouted. Right. If we can't handle him ourselves, could the great immortals be helpless too? Let's lock him up first and then send someone to the 33 heavens to borrow the demon-slaying sword from the Supreme Lord Laozi. Use the demon-slaying sword to break his protective light and cut off Dragon 18's head. That's right, we must get the demon-slaying sword. There's no way the immortal realm can be defeated by just one Dragon 18. Hearing this, my heart jolted. The immortal artifact of the Supreme Elder Lord was incredibly powerful. Just the thought of it sent a strong sense of impending danger through me. What was worse, my worry had actually come true, they were really about to lock me in the celestial prison. Once inside, it would mean certain death. I hadn't even finished absorbing the essence of the dragon blood, I was only halfway through, struggling to keep going. Although my cultivation had improved, facing the heavy siege of over 600 immortals, I had no chance of escaping unscathed. I was caught in a dilemma. If I tried to break through now, whether I could escape alive was uncertain, and even if I managed to flee by some miracle, the cost would be severe energy depletion. What's more, there were still hundreds more immortals chasing me desperately, leaving no path of escape. Running away would only lead to a worse fate, being surrounded and attacked by thousands of immortals, eventually dying from complete exhaustion of my energy. But if I didn't escape, and they really summoned the demon-slaying sword down from the heavens, or if the Supreme Elder Lord himself came down, or even more great immortals arrived, I likely wouldn't survive at all. There was nowhere left to run, it felt like I was trapped in a no-win death trap. My scalp tingled, even I felt a deep despair. My method of stalling by improving my strength still fell just short. Was it really fate that wanted to destroy me, Dragon 18? Little fox, are we going to die? She was scared but her eyes held firm determination. Don't worry, no matter what, I won't let you die. I shook my head. Lei Jiju remained silent. She was already prepared to face death. Alright, that's what we'll do. When the demon-slaying sword arrives, it's best if it brings the Supreme Elder Lord's true form. Also, inform the Jade Emperor that we've captured the chief culprit behind the destruction of the heavenly formation. Yeah, Dragon 18 is too troublesome. Who's going to summon the demon-slaying sword? I will. Me too. I'm skilled in teleportation. Count me in for a quick round trip. The 3 great immortals stepped forward, consensus was reached. They gave me a cold glance and said, it'll take at least a few hours for us to descend. It should be fine during that time, right? Don't worry, we'll escort him into the prison to prevent any accidents. No matter how cunning he is, he can't escape the heavenly prison. That's right. More than 600 of us are waiting here. He wants to escape right under our noses? Dream on. Confident and sure of themselves, the immortals pounded their chests in assurance. The 3 great immortals relaxed and, glowing with celestial light, swiftly flew toward the teleportation array. Their speed was astonishing. Thunder God, open the prison gates and prepare 600 cells for Dragon 18, the immortals commanded the armored immortal. The armored immortal blushed, having just been thwarted, his pride was bruised. He picked up the small vial that had fallen and sealed away the 3-flavored true fire enveloping me. The blazing fire that had scorched my eyes finally vanished, and the burning pain in my eyeballs eased. With a click, the armored immortal waved his hand, and the honeycomb-shaped prison gate slowly opened. I stared at the dark prison gate, my heart sinking completely. I swallowed another drop of dragon blood essence. Dragon 18, won't you obediently enter the prison? Are you planning to make me charge in? Be reasonable. When the demon-slaying sword comes, you're sure to die. Better suffer less torment and behave. 600 immortals sneered coldly, continually tightening their siege. The pressure was crushing. It felt like they were forcing me to jump off a cliff. Looking at their cold eyes and the prison gates, I suddenly thought, since it's like this, why not cast a divination and see if now is the right time to act? I asked Little Fox to say a single character. After thinking, she said, Daddy, I don't want to die. If we want to survive, then the character is live. I quickly analyzed the signs. After 10 seconds, my eyes flickered. How could this be? I was puzzled, unable to believe the divination's result. Little Fox, what should we do now? She asked. Sir, Lei Jiju was anxious too. They'd pinned their last hope on me. Right now, the overwhelming assault of these over 600 immortals was relentless. Their spells pushed me invisibly but forcefully. Clearly, they wanted us to enter the prison immediately. We're going into the prison now, I said, resolutely. Daddy? Little Fox was shocked. Lei Jiju was also confused. Sir, the prison is impregnable. Once inside, there's no getting out. But Lei Jiju thought it was worth the gamble. I know, but the divination shows that the turning point comes after entering the prison, I said. Both Lei Jiju and Little Fox were stunned. Truthfully, I was baffled too. The turning point the divination showed was connected to me. After much thought, the only clue I could think of was the half-shell the little Earth Immortal had left behind. But she said I could find her after passing the 10th heaven. Her help would be limited, only a temporary refuge. I wasn't sure if the turning point inside the prison was related to her. She was just a maid-servant with limited power. After learning my current predicament, she might cut off contact. But the divination was infallible, it was just that I hadn't figured it out yet. After weighing my options, I decided to trust the word divination, enter the dungeon, and embrace the turning point. Papa, we're going into the dungeon, what about the Taiji Golden Pill? The little fox whispered, voicing the same worry gnawing at my heart. In dire straits, we can only take one step at a time. But I won't give up on the Taiji Golden Pill. A spark lit in my eyes as I swallowed a drop of dragon blood essence. Listen to Papa. My Papa is the strongest and will surely lead us to survival against all odds. The little fox rekindled its hope. Sir, whatever you decide, just tell me, Lei Jiju pledged to support. Since that's the case, I didn't need the push of 600 immortals. Snorting coldly, my voice thundered. The dungeon is a dragon's lair and a tiger's den. If Dragon 18 won't go in, then who will? The immortals froze. Even the armored gatekeeper immortal found it strange. This kid really stands his ground. Could he be playing tricks? What tricks could he even pull? He knows his life hangs by a thread today and wants to save face. His mind is sharper than we thought. The immortals whispered in pointed fingers. Clutching Lei Jiju's sword, I flew into the open dungeon under their watchful eyes. The 600 immortals sighed deeply. Now it's foolproof. Once you enter the dungeon, there's no way out, it's death. A few strikes of the demon-slaying sword and there's no escape. We're ready to claim the glory. Dragon 18's out of luck. How many strikes can he endure? One strike to kill. Ha ha ha. Their excited chatter imagines celebrating victory. Click. The dungeon door slammed shut, plunging everything into darkness. The air was utterly silent, fear creeping in. Sure enough, the dungeon wasn't just an ordinary cell. I finally saw the beehive-like dungeon was cramped, only 8 or 9 meters deep, 3 or 4 meters wide. Lei Jiju's sword lit up, shining across the chamber. I felt the walls, harder than stone, seeming made of some unknown metal. Breaking out would be nearly impossible. But I had a hunch, this dungeon was a colossal divine artifact. No doubt about it. Setting that aside, I needed to quickly absorb the remaining dragon blood essence. Only by refining the indestructible demonic art could I find that glimmer of hope the word divination promised within the dungeon. One drop at a time, I swallowed the dragon blood essence. The process remained burning and agonizing. I devoured over 1,000 sour, almost unbearable fairy fruits and swallowed the fiery dragon blood essence with no trouble. 20 minutes later, I had fully absorbed all the dragon blood's essence. I dispelled the demonic aura clinging to my body and focused all my energy on indestructible demonic art, merging the dragon blood's power into my flesh. This took half an hour. Opening my eyes, I felt strength coursing through me. Looking down at my transformed body, excitement surged. My skin color hadn't changed, but its hardness rose to a whole new level, like becoming a divine artifact itself. This dragon blood was more potent than the finest elixir. The 20 drops I'd just swallowed equaled tens of thousands of years of the dragon mother's cultivation, all fused into me. I called Lei Jiju over to test. She stabbed my arm with a sword, sparks flew but were reflected away. My arm remained unscathed, not even a scratch. This was the fruit of my mad feast on fairy fruits and dragon blood essence. Lei Jiju marveled, "Sir, you're unbelievably tough now." My gaze burned brightly. I knew this step was right, this gamble had paid off. Thankfully, I hadn't recklessly fought head-on but calmly chose to cultivate the demonic aura, otherwise, getting dragged down by 600 immortals wouldn't be impossible. The little fox eagerly asked, "Papa, can we now take on over 600 immortals?" I said, "Not in a straight fight yet, but breaking through with bloodshed? No problem." The little fox was even happier. Lei Jiju asked about the Taiji Golden Pill. I answered decisively, no matter if I have to face burning fires or sharp blades, I must get that Taiji Golden Pill. I resolved that after escaping the dungeon, I wouldn't head to the southern heaven gate, but instead go against the current directly toward the Taiji Golden Pill. The confidence from the indestructible demonic art gave me strength. Lei Jiju worried time wouldn't be enough. I said, "Whether it is or not, first I must get out of this dungeon." I began scrutinizing the cell for weaknesses, but found none. Frowning, if they really summoned the demon-slaying sword, I'd have a hard time dealing with it. Time was short, I had to figure out a way out of the cell first. The little fox was downcast. "I don't feel any way out." After inspecting, Lei Jiju said, "This dungeon is too hard to break out of, at least a year or half a year." I asked Lei Jiju, "You feel this dungeon is a divine artifact too, right?" She nodded. "I have that feeling." The little fox agreed, "Me too." I realized this was key. The dungeon's material was similar to the golden bell. The fortune-telling divination told me not to force my way through. Otherwise, even if they summoned the demon-slaying sword, escape wouldn't be guaranteed. Could the turning point be the half-shell the little Earth Immortal gave me? I took out the shell, hesitated, and said to it, "Little Earth Fairy, I've arrived in the immortal realm, trapped in the 11th layer of the heavenly prison. If you can, please." I wondered if little Earth Fairy would be so scared she'd die upon hearing that. Feeling anxious, the shell suddenly shattered into crumbs on its own, as if little Earth Fairy was truly frightened beyond words, cutting off all contact. The little fox was stunned. "Daddy, she's not going to help us?" Lei Jiju sighed. I gave a bitter smile, understanding her fear. Even a little maid can feel powerless sometimes. "We'll find her again after escaping, she'll definitely help then." I reassured everyone, "It's okay, we'll find another way." Though confused inside, I knew escaping was the key. All I could do was carefully observe the cell, inch by inch, searching for any weaknesses. If I didn't get out soon, and they summoned the demon-slaying sword, I'd be done for. "Sir, is this breakthrough from the cultivation manual that fairy he gave you?" Lei Jiju asked. I had thought of that too but quickly dismissed it. Fairy He's manual is definitely not simple, but there's no way I could master it in such a short time. Only a fully mastered technique would work, so this breakthrough couldn't be the divine dragon skill. Lei Jiju sounded disappointed as well. "Seems so. I noticed some damage in the corner, surely marks left by previous escape attempts. These marks must have taken years to form, meaning brute force alone can never break out." That realization weighed heavily on my heart. No wonder over 600 immortals outside were so confident. The heavenly prison really is impenetrable. But I wasn't going to just sit and wait. Since we all agree the prison is a magical device, I'd try breaking it like one. Closing my eyes, I used my mind to sense the prison's layout. Maybe because my cultivation improved, the sensing was much more sensitive. I managed to map out a third within 10 minutes. This honeycomb-shaped prison is compact, but I found a flaw. Unfortunately, it wasn't my cell, it was the 13th cell to my left. If I were lucky enough to be locked there, I could have broken out first. But my luck failed me. I was trapped in a cell with no loopholes. Still, I didn't lose hope. I planned to open the 13th cell first. Maybe the gap would lead through to my cell. I wasn't sure if this would work, but I had no other choice. Without any wall-walking skills, I could only try using my demonic energy to penetrate the wall. Those immortals said my demonic energy transcends the 5 elements and even contains aspects of the laws. I pressed my hand to the wall, closed my eyes, and let the demonic energy drill through like a drill bit. I held my breath, waiting tensely. To my surprise, the wall was drilled through silently, like penetrating water. The demonic energy truly transcends the 5 elements. The prison belongs to metal, but it couldn't stop me. My spirits lifted. The little fox and Lei Jiju also rekindled their hope. Just as I was about to control the energy toward the 13th cell, the wall suddenly felt soft. I looked up in shock. Why you? How did you get in here? The wall seemed to ripple like a waterfall, and someone emerged through. Even more shockingly, it was Little Earth Fairy, the one I thought was ignoring me. Her round face was fair, eyes large and bright, young and lovely. Though I'd never seen her real appearance before, I was certain it was her. She actually came to help me. But she's just a little maid, how could she have passed through such solid walls? My mind short-circuited, I thought it was a hallucination. The little fox and Lei Jiju were stunned too. Dragon 18. Where are you touching? Little Earth Fairy blushed as she walked out with a hint of magic glow, holding something. I quickly withdrew my hand. Little Earth Fairy, how did you get in here? She glared at me angrily. Don't ask how I got in. You're amazing to sneak in through the south heavenly gate and yet get locked in the heavenly prison. Do you know how scared I was when you tried to contact me just now? Didn't I say to contact me only after you escaped? Are you escaping now? I gave a bitter smile. The little fox quickly chimed in obediently, Sister, Daddy didn't mean to. Little Earth Fairy glanced at the little fox, her anger fading, and the blush on her cheeks softened. I never expected Little Earth Fairy could traverse the prison like that. Since she could, I didn't have to persevere blindly, I could just have her lead us out. But she immediately refused. I can get you out without anyone knowing, but not now. If we're caught, it won't be just you who'll suffer the consequences. Cause trouble for you? I asked. If that was the case, I wouldn't force her. I'm nothing, Little Earth Fairy shook her head, but I'm afraid it'll bring trouble to my family. She immediately covered her mouth, as if avoiding a taboo. I was stunned. The little fox and Lei Jiju were speechless as well. Seeing Little Earth Fairy so flustered, I suddenly realized, could it be your master helping you? She's only a maid, how else could she possess magic powerful enough to roam freely through the heavenly prison? This must be a fairy artifact that only her family has. Long 18, don't jump to conclusions. Little Earth Fairy hurriedly said. Judging by her expression, I almost guessed it. But why would her master help her get into the heavenly prison? Is Little Earth Fairy just making an excuse to get her master to step in and save her? Lei Jiju suddenly spoke up. Could it be that this heavenly prison artifact actually belongs to her master's family? Everything immediately became clear. So she could come and go freely only because of her master's family's fairy artifact. But that made me even more curious, who exactly is her master? I asked, Little Earth Fairy, who is your master? Because the material of this artifact looks like a golden bell. Could it really be related to Jean Lingdang? I had asked her before, and she stubbornly denied it. But thinking about it now, something doesn't feel right. After all, if it really were Jean Lingdang's master, why would she help? If that person saw me, they'd definitely want to kill me on the spot. Because I had made her suffer terribly back in the demon realm. I said, could it really be Jean Lingdang, like I said before? Little Earth Fairy blushed furiously. Stop guessing, I'm not. Seeing her that angry, I had no choice but to believe her. Logic told me it couldn't be Jean Lingdang's master helping out. Probably just me overthinking. Long 18, from now on, you never mention Jean Lingdang again, got it? Little Earth Fairy stared at me, her tone extremely serious. Her strange reaction made me even more curious. Why was she so flustered at the mention of Jean Lingdang? Seeing her that upset, I could only nod. Okay, I won't bring it up. Deep down, I actually wanted to keep my distance from her. After all, when I first entered the immortal realm, I was nearly scared to death. The less I encounter this kind of existence, the better. Little Fox, listen up too. Little Earth Fairy said as she pointed to Little Fox. Little Fox nodded blankly. Little Earth Fairy, I know you can sneak into the heavenly prison unnoticed because your master cast a spell. So your master, I was about to ask. No talking. She cut me off angrily. Alright, you go ahead. You must be wondering why my master helped me. It's because I lied, that's why they helped me, she explained. That more or less matched what I guessed, but her story was full of holes. What exactly is she trying to stop me from thinking? Alright, I get it. Little Earth Fairy, since you don't want to help me get out, I'll keep moving up once I'm out of the heavenly prison, I said, making my decision clear. You're crazy. You still want to go up? Little Earth Fairy was shocked. Yes, I answered seriously. I couldn't get too many Taiji Golden pills, and escaping the immortal realm wouldn't help either. The demon realm's empress of the three hells was waiting for me, and I simply couldn't face her. So, whether I live or die, I had to get those Taiji Golden pills. No matter the cost. No. Little Earth Fairy hurriedly advised, I risked everything to come here just to get you to leave the immortal realm immediately. and never sneak in again, remember, never. I didn't waver. Little Fox and Lei Jiju were just as determined. Little Earth Fairy grew more desperate. Long 18, do you really think reaching the 11 heavens was all because of yourself? Don't be naive. Naive about what? I asked. Nothing, but you need to know the immortal realm isn't as simple as you think. All the important places are guarded by powerful immortals. She changed the subject again. Your only chance is to escape now. If you keep climbing, not to mention Taiwu golden pills, just staying alive will be a problem. Once you reach the 20th heaven, powerful immortals are everywhere. Can you beat them? Only if you have Taiwu golden pills, you're no match. Go now. This is my last advice, she pleaded earnestly. Thanks for your kindness, but I have only 2 goals this time, and one is still unfinished. I won't give up halfway. I replied firmly. Little Earth Fairy shook her head. You're truly crazy. Refusing to listen, I'm trying to save you. Thank you for risking yourself to come. I, Long 18, will make sure to repay your kindness if I survive. I said sincerely. Her bravery made me grateful. I continued to control the demon yokai energy. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I had to get out of the heavenly prison as soon as possible. The longer I stayed, the higher the risk of the demon-slaying sword killing me. I controlled the demon yokai energy to the 13th level prison cell. Using a loophole, I began breaking the prison door. Soon enough, the door suddenly swung open. I closed my eyes in excitement, feeling for any impact on my own cell. Little Fox and Lei Jiju followed closely, tense. Luckily, no mistakes, the effect even reached my cell. I excitedly locked onto the new loophole. Just as I was focusing on sensing it, Little Earth Fairy sighed and said, "There, you can go out." She pointed to a spot. I was stunned, and so were Little Fox and Lei Jiju. Confirming by feel, the loophole was exactly where she indicated. This is part 94 of 125. Please process the following content logically, preserving the original paragraph structure, line breaks, and overall layout. Return only the processed result. Kid, I'm telling you, nobody ever gets out of the celestial prison because it's protected by immortal artifacts. But if you're getting out today, maybe your skills are too strong. Still, be careful. Think hard about what I'm telling you. The Little Earth Fairy warned. Yeah, thanks. I exhaled. The little fox clutched my pocket tightly as the thunderstrike bamboo flew into my mouth. I prepared to escape the prison and head upwards. Oh, by the way, Long Shiba, this is something my master left behind. I'm giving it to you. The Little Earth Fairy loosened her tight grip. I saw a small white bottle in her hand. What's this? I asked. Don't know. She shook her head. You say it's yours but don't know? I was suspicious. I'm old, I forgot. Anyway, I do know this, my master said, or rather, I said, if you take this, you can quickly leave the immortal realm, she said. My face changed as I stared at the bottle in my hand. Take this and leave the immortal realm? What does that mean? I don't want to leave because I haven't gotten the Taiwu golden pill. Could the Little Earth Fairy be so confident because this bottle holds the Taiwu golden pill I dream of? No way. She's just a little handmaiden, there's no way she'd have such a treasure. Could it be something her master gave her? Why would the master give it to me? What's the purpose? I was momentarily confused. I took the bottle, but couldn't open it. It must be sealed by magic, only opening once I exit the immortal realm. For now, I couldn't be sure if the bottle indeed contained the Taiwu golden pill. I asked her, did you give this to me, or someone else? I gave it. The Little Earth Fairy replied, her eyes darting nervously, lacking confidence. All right, I get it. I was almost certain this bottle came from the Little Earth Fairy's master. Yet, I had never met her and hadn't done anything. Why? Why do you say that if I take this, I can leave the immortal realm? Is there really a Taiwu golden pill inside? I asked, my heart racing. The Little Earth Fairy froze, blurting out, what? Taiwu golden pill? Obviously, her master hadn't explained what was inside the bottle, which explained her surprise. Little Earth Fairy, tell me word for word, I said firmly. I just did, she replied anxiously. I gave the bottle to the little fox to sense. 10 seconds later, she whispered, Dad, this should be a pill, but I've never seen a Taiwu golden pill before, so I'm not sure. But the medicinal power is strong, stronger than anything you've ever taken. A joy stirred inside me as I asked, how sure are you that it's the Taiwu golden pill? The little fox rolled her eyes, 60%. She's always conservative, so I could be at least 70 or 80% sure. Still, I was confused and filled with questions. It felt like a gift falling from the sky, I almost couldn't believe it. My heart pounded hard. I had planned to risk everything going up to get the Taiwu golden pill, but now this thing was handed to me directly. No free lunch. Whether it's from you or your master, I said. It's from me. Don't mention my master, the little earth fairy quickly interrupted. Okay. So, what do I have to do? I asked. She was stunned. Such a precious gift, given away for free? I pressed. She hesitated a long time. I don't know. Nobody said you had to do anything. Alright, help me pass a message to your master, I said. Long Shiba, I told you not to mention my master, she fumed. Okay. I nodded seriously and said, I owe you a favor. Whatever you ask of me in the future, I, Long Shiba, will never refuse. That's my principle. If someone respects me 1 foot, I give back a yard. The little earth fairy's master's purpose remained unclear, but for now, this was a timely help. I had a feeling we'd meet someday. The little earth fairy glanced at me. Good, I'll remember. Don't go back on your word. A gentleman's word is his bond. I replied. You're no gentleman, but I trust you. She said. I exhaled. Thanks. Now it was still early enough to rush back. Otherwise, the third imperial princess would have no chance. I treasured the bottle, possibly the Taiwu golden pill, like a precious artifact. Then I prepared to escape the cell. Suddenly, the little earth fairy asked, Long Shiba, if I asked you to kill someone, would you go back on your word? I froze and asked, who? She flipped the question back, would you break your word? She wouldn't say outright. Did she want me to kill someone close to me? I stayed silent, not answering. The little fox looked at me. I'm joking. I wanted to see if you would break your word, but you're disappointing. I might stop joking in the future. The little earth fairy said. I was helpless. Let's go. Don't risk going back to the immortal realm just for the Taiwu golden pill, she said as she walked away. The words left me stunned. Did that mean someone beside me was also after the Taiwu golden pill? Most likely a joke. I quickly said, Little Earth Immortal, wait a moment. I wanted her to take the little fox away. Escaping the immortal realm was too dangerous, and I wasn't confident I could handle it alone. She looked back with suspicion. The little fox seemed to understand what I was about to say, clinging tightly to my clothes and whining, Daddy, let's go. Let's go. Seeing the little fox like that, I couldn't refuse. I sighed and told Little Earth Immortal it was okay. I'm going back. Long Shiba, if you want to leave the immortal realm, first see if you can escape the heavenly prison. Remember, don't ever mention the golden bell again, and don't tell anyone about what happened today. This is crucial. After saying this, Little Earth Immortal passed through the wall and vanished before my eyes. I snapped back to reality, thinking this trip to the immortal realm was coming to an end. Fortunately, everything went smoothly. Of course, that was thanks to help from a benefactor. I will definitely come back next time straight to the Jade Emperor for a face-to-face showdown. Dad, how did we get out from being surrounded by over 600 immortals? The little fox asked anxiously. I took a deep breath. In my mind, a plan was already forming. Even though my demonic cultivation had improved greatly, there was no way I could face 600 immortals head-on. I didn't have that ability, I had to use strategy. I planned to use demonic energy to create an illusion of myself, then dash out the moment the prison door opened to draw their attention. Meanwhile, Lei Jiju would use invisibility magic to protect us, so we could sneak away while the immortals were distracted, breaking through their encirclement. Escaping the heavenly prison wouldn't be hard. The real challenge was the closed south heavenly gate, the key to leaving the immortal realm. I had to conserve my strength for that and stay alert. This plan had about a 30% chance of success, but it had to be fast and precise. Any slip-up, and the 600 immortals would swarm immediately. I told the plan to Lei Jiju. Got it, she agreed. The little fox clung tightly to my pocket. I manipulated demonic energy to create my shadow, though not a perfect copy. It was fast enough to confuse the immortals. I took out a bottle of demonic energy and began shrouding myself in it. Lei Jiju cast the invisibility spell to protect us. The demonic shadow stood at the prison door while I hid in the corner, slowly using magic to create a crack. Creak, a sound came as the crack gradually widened and the prison door loosened. Almost there. I held my breath, focused, pushing my power. 10 minutes passed, I couldn't relax, afraid the immortals might notice. Asterisk creak, creak. Asterisk. At the critical moment, the heavenly prison door suddenly opened, letting light flood inside. Outside, I saw countless immortals, none had left, tightly guarding the place. They were waiting for the demon-slaying sword to descend. The immortals were chatting pleasantly but froze at the sudden movement. Silence fell outside the prison. Over 600 pairs of eyes all turned sharply toward us. The immortals were stunned, then gasped. Is this for real? The prison door opened on its own? This can't be. The cell holding Long Shiba has been breached. No way. The heavenly prison has never been broken before. There has to be something wrong. Why did it break now, of all times? Hurry! Don't let Long Shiba escape. The immortals reacted instantly, swarming forward, crowding the prison entrance. Armored immortals panicked and rushed over as well. I hid with invisibility. As soon as the prison door opened, the demonic shadow dashed out. Whoosh, the illusion flickered, charging straight into the crowd of immortals. The demonic energy wildly smashed everything around. Any immortal in its way was knocked back, attacked on sight, friend or foe. All 600 immortals were drawn in, shouting angrily. This is bad. Long Shiba really broke out. Cast spells together, catch him. The credit will be ours. I knew he wouldn't wait to die quietly. Do you think you can escape? The immortal group was furious and irrational, all casting spells toward the demonic energy. In an instant, deafening explosions rang out. Hundreds of spells shot like arrows, hammering the demonic shadow relentlessly. Boom, the thunderous roar echoed. More than 600 immortals threw everything they had into this. They hated me with all their bones. The angrier they were, the better, the more reckless, the better for my plan. Seeing the first stage of the plan succeed, I immediately signaled Lei Jiju to move. They would realize soon enough, and our time was running out. Lei Jiju led me and the little fox silently out of the prison. The whole process was smooth and didn't raise any suspicion. I couldn't help but glance back, eyes fixed on the small bottle in my hand, silently praying. Please let it be the Taiji Golden Pill, really the Taiji Golden Pill. I nervously repeated in my heart. Massive attacking energy warped the void nearby that actually gave Lei Jiju a chance to speed up. Lei Jiju flew swiftly, almost hugging the prison wall, covering 500 meters in just 10 seconds. The plan was still going smoothly. I focused on controlling the demonic aura, crashing recklessly through the crowd to conceal my weaknesses. But I noticed a young great immortal had already locked his gaze on me, sharp eyes piercing through the demonic aura. Only 10 seconds had passed, and he had sensed it. As they launched their second wave of attacks, the young immortal shouted. No way! Long Shiba can't possibly withstand so many of us. Maybe he's using a protective aura? No! This is just demonic aura. He's using a decoy to trick us and lure us away. Damn it, we've been played. He must be nearby, find him quickly. The youth was furious. Boom, a golden light struck the demonic aura, revealing the truth. The assembled immortals roared with anger. That's not Long Shiba at all. Chasing a decoy all this time. The kid's really cunning, still causing trouble in Tian prison. Over 600 immortals instantly became alert, their eyes scanning the surroundings sharply. My heart sank. Escaping Tian prison was not going to be easy. But I refused to wait for death. While they still hadn't found us, there was still a chance to escape. I ordered Lei Jiju to move slowly while I watched their every move carefully. Although the demonic aura had been exposed, I still controlled it remotely, sowing interference among the immortals, affecting their senses. But soon, they expanded their vigilance and completely sealed off all escape routes. It seemed they were determined to claim credit for capturing me. With no openings, I dared not continue direct combat. Otherwise, the demon-slaying sword would inevitably be unleashed. I controlled the demonic aura while urging Lei Jiju to prepare for a breakout. Now, I had no choice but to forcibly break through the encirclement. Suddenly, all the immortals struck in unison. The wind howled violently, even the void trembled. Clearly, they wanted to force me out. Fine. If they're going all out, then Long Shiba will play to the end. With a thought, the demonic aura quickly retreated to a distance. Lei Jiju, charge. Lei Jiju, cloaked in invisibility, dashed forward at breakneck speed. Swoosh. Immediately, over 30 pairs of cold eyes locked onto him. There he is. He's heading that way. Boom. Hundreds of eyes focused sharply.